We all know that feeling of a pesky sinus infection that just won't seem to go away. That's what Mom Danielle thought she was dealing with, but it turned out to be something much more serious.
I started the process of adopting my daughter in June 2018. We were fostering, and then I realized that we wanted to keep her in a safe environment for her to grow, and I wanted to adopt her. We had a lot going on at the time. I have my own business, and here comes this little girl who needed attention. So here I am getting ready to adopt my daughter, and out of nowhere, my nose just started running. When I would bend over, it would run like a faucet. I'd be at bed at night, I could hear liquid sloshing around in my head. And at night, I had to sleep with a towel or my pillow would get drenched. This went on for about 10 months, and so I went to the doctor. The first one I went to told me the nose gets cold, it runs. Stay out of air conditioning. What do you mean stay out the air conditioning? That makes no sense. I didn't know what it was, but I knew it was something more. So after that, I went for a second opinion. And when he had me lean over, he saw the fluid. He said, "You have a CF leak." So I asked him what that was. And he told me I was leaking brain fluid. So he ordered a CT scan. They told me that I had a tumor that could rupture at any moment. They airlifted me to another hospital and took me straight into ICU. They found out it was not a tumor, but they did see where I had the brain fluid that was leaking. They just kept saying, "I can't believe you were leaking that much fluid for that amount of time." The doctors told me I needed to go into surgery right away. So here I am getting ready to adopt my daughter with the intention of giving her a better life. So as they were wheeling me into surgery, all I could think about was, what if I'm not alive to raise her? I was scared.
It's been just a few months since Danielle's surgery. She's here in our audience along with her surgeon who helped solve her medical mystery, Dr. Martin Mortazavi. Welcome to you both. So glad to have you. Most importantly, Danielle, I know it was a long road trying to figure out what was going wrong with you. How are you now?
I'm doing great now. There's no more leak. I'm feeling so much better. I don't have headaches. Everything is going well. My daughter is happy. I'm not dripping on her.
Dr. Mortazavi, can you explain to our viewers how cerebrospinal fluid, aka the fluid that surrounds our brain and spine, can come out the nose?
Yes. So cerebro stands for brain, spinal is for spine, fluid is fluid. So it's CSF, okay? So brain and spinal cord are hanging in a sac called dura, and then there is this CSF that kind of brings nutrients to the brain, and then also once we walk, since there is fluid around the brain doesn't bump within the bony calvarium,
So
okay?
nutrition, shock absorber, supposed to be only around the brain and spine, right?
You got it, exactly.
So people could understand how trauma, maybe you have an injury and it could create an opening there, but what, in Danielle's case, how did it end up coming out of her nose?
So at the skull base, at the lower parts of the brain, at the base of the skull, she was leaking. Why she was leaking, we don't know.
Which sinus, in fact, was the one that?
Ethmoid.
So the ethmoid sinuses, and how did you plug it up?
So we do a minimally invasive approach with a scope, a tube, through the nose. Before we go in there, we put the lumbar drain, which is a tube in the back, and as the back is connected to the brain, we inject fluorescent, the yellow, and it shows where it's leaking. And then once we see where it's leaking, we take fat from her hip, plug into where the hole is, and then to keep the fat from falling off, we transplant a little piece of cartilage from the nose, and we put it there. And then to keep that in place so it doesn't fall down, we put a little bit more fat, and then we put this blue glue.